babantayan ko lang yung Blue Ribbon Committee pero hindi naman ako nakapag-participate. But from 2007 until recently, nababantayan ko at active ako diyan. Halos lahat ng naging chairman diyan sinusundan ng ebidensya. Halos lahat ng naging chairman diyan sa Blue Ribbon Committee. May reklamo ka man, hindi nila sasabihin committee de absuelto or iwa whitewash, di ba? Pero during the time of Senator Lacson, kaisa-isa siyang chairman na obvious dinidetermine ang direction ng committee. Siya na nagtuturo kung sinong guilty o hindi. Pati papunta sa DOJ, papunta sa ombudsman, di ba? Parang nagpapasahan. So, very, very clear yon, di ba? So, kung gusto niyo ng pampaputi, punta kayo kay Senator Lacson kasi magaling mag-whitewash. Baka may may pampaputi, di ba? So, yun ang kino-compare niya ako sa lahat ng naging Senate President. Sige, compare din kita. Di ba? Kay Senator Gordon, ang comment lang naman doon dati mag-chance din magsalita yung iba. Once, si Senator Trillanes parang sinasabi. Pero Senator Gordon was always open. Anyone can ask questions. Pag sinabi mo, invite to, i-invite. Yung ibang naging chairman, Senator TG, maraming nagalit sa kanyang senador. Marami. Kasi nga yung Napoles, maraming tinamaan. Actually, some thought nga he was too open kasi minsan hindi pa na-verify na pag-usapan. But walang whitewash. Baliktad, ang tingin ng iba, too open nga. Wala naman reklamo nung ako ang naging chairman ng Blue Ribbon. So, napakaraming iba, sundan nyo. Wala doon. Kaya hindi yung partial report, ngayon pinupuri niya ang ibang kasama natin. Pero nung una, pinupush niya na pirmahan yung report. Nakalimutan na rin yun. I won't comment there, but I just want to say is number one, it's too important for our country to be able to find a permanent solution, a permanent system, a real culture against corruption na masolve natin to. Pag lumipas tong administrasyon at hindi natin sineryoso ang flood control at yung infra na corruption sa DPWH, babalik to mas masama pa. Para tong TB na hindi nyo tinuloy yung gamot, magiging drug resistant yung strain, di ba? So parating sinasabi po yun pag tinitreat yung tuberculosis na kailangan, kahit maganda na pakiramdam mo, kailangan mo tapusin yung gamot. Hindi pwedeng sa pangatlong buwan, medyo maganda na pakiramdam mo. Hindi, ganun din po sa corruption. Minsan lang tayo malingat dyan, mabibinat tayo na mas malaki pa. Nangyari na From Napoles to flood control, grabe po, di ba? So, having said that, I just want to mention this. We can't keep saying change, then we just change administrations, change presidents, change ombudsman, change Senate president. We have to change the political culture. We have to change our values. We have to change the foundations of what we call governance and values sa governance. So, I'm inviting everyone, total marami na tayo sa page na to, kung may ideas po kayo, let's put together a Philippine agenda. I think yun po yung mali from EDSA 1 until present. Na kapag gusto natin ng revolusyon, inaano natin tao, sama-sama na tayo, magkaisa tayo, sama-sama na tayo. Pero pagka napalitan na ng leader, kami leaders, kami na lang magde-decide. So I think if we want a real change, first, we have to ask God, Lord, anong masamang ginawa at anong... Number two, we have to do it together. So, special mention ko lang yung Tindig Pilipinas. So, di ba, yung grupo nila, Kiko D, nag-file sa ombudsman, so na-receive namin today. Kausapin ko pa lawyers ko, pero alam ko na, sinabi ko na sagot ko dyan. But I just want to congratulate them for doing the job for the administration. Alam ko naman na nung ginawa ko to, sunod-sunod na mga kaso ang pupunta sa amin. Sanay na kami dyan, di ba? Sinabihan yung mga senador, pag hindi kayo malis, kakasuhan, pagka hindi kayo... So, ang point ko lang, just remember who you are, Kiko, di ba? Kiko D. Aquino ka, hindi ka Kiko D. Marcos, di ba? So, don't get instructions from the administration. In fact, kung nag-volunteer kayo, then you're even doing them a favor. I know, meron kayong issue kay Senator Bato, so file the cases. File the cases, di ba? Mismong DILG nagsabi, nung nasa Senado yung si Senator Bato, walang warrant silang alam, di ba? So, paano naging obstruction of justice? But I'll end there because I want to just spend a little bit of time to remind you what my dad stood for, no? So, maraming nagpo-post at nagpapasalamat naman ako sa lahat. And my dad was a fighter. He believed in education. Madalas niya sabihin sa amin na, Alan, Renren, Lino, Apia, I can leave you, sa house, sa money, pero mauubos yan. Pero the education, pag sineryoso nyo, walang makakaagaw sa inyo yan. Then, my mom's a teacher. My dad was a disciplinarian. So there's so many things I can tell you about my dad, and salamat sa mga nakaalala sa kanya. But the most important thing is, nung nagkasakit siya, he had an encounter, no? And he saw a light. Ang tawag nung iba doon, Damascus experience. Kasi he kept on crying, that he kept on saying, why me? So akala namin, kasi ako yung nasa labas noon, din mami ko nasa kwarto, so I ran to see them. Actually, I woke up para ako nahagis from the couch to the floor. We were in the US noon, nagpapagamot siya. And then he was crying, why me, why me? So sabi ko, why me? Kasi nga, medyo hindi pa niya alam na cancer sa tiyan yun. Akala pa namin liver. Pero masakit parati, yung may pain parati. Pero nung sinabi niyang why me, sabi niya, alam niya yung ilaw na yun, na-feel niya na si God yun. At why me? Kasi parang sino siya para sabihin sa kanya ng Diyos na buhay siya, na I am a living God. Di ba? Yun yung interpretation ko. So, hindi yun yung exact words. So, after that, alam nyo, may message on that. Ang message niya, number 1, make God number 1 in your life. And number 2, spend a little bit of time every day with God. So, sa dami ng pwede ko sabihin about my dad, I know if he was here, ang dami niyang gustong sabihin, pero ang ulit-ulitin niya yon na mga kababayan, mga kapatid, make God number 1 in our life. And then number 2, always spend time with God. So I have a week naman at hindi rin ako nakapag-post nung Father's Day. Medyo parang 10 years ako hindi may migraine, but nagkamali ako. I drank grapefruit, citrus yon, so nag-migraine ako nung Sunday. But I can spend naman the next few days telling you also something about Father's Day, about my dad. But what I want to say about Father's Day and about my dad is that hindi tayo pwedeng fatherless. And in attending nga the Go Convention ng Victory Church, yung unang speaker doon, hindi ako naka-attend pero pinaalala sa akin ng isang very close sa akin, Bishop June. I have the transcript. Meron siyang article, Fatherless No More. I hope many people can read that. I'll see if it's available. No? But basically, sinasabi niya yung tao na feeling niya fatherless siya. And there's so many of that experience kasi madaming single parents na. But iba pa daw pagka-community, pagbansa, ang nakapag-feel na fatherless. But we don't have to feel fatherless because we do have God the Father. And regardless of our belief, maraming nagdadasal Diyos Ama, di ba? So, now there are people kasi who have bad experience sa tatay. Whether in-abandon, whether abusive, di ba? Kaya, pag sinabi yung a father's love, doble yung pag-ulila nila, yung pangungulila, di ba? Double eh. Kasi yung hindi ka naka-experience, tapos nakikita mo sa iba, na-experience sila isang father, nangungulila ka. Pero kung na-experience mo, tapos bad ang experience mo, hindi mo maiintindihan the Father's love. So yun ang aking prayer this week na, di lang naman dapat one day ang Father's Day. Gawin na natin Father's Day, Father's Week, di ba? Na ma-experience natin ang pagmamahal ng isang tatay. So yan din ang reminder ko, maging lalaki o babae, ang barangay captain, ang principal sa school, ang director sa gobyerno, ang mayors, governors, sa ating mahal na Pangulo, di ba? Let's not let people feel that they're fatherless. So ngayon na may economic crisis, problema nung earthquake sa Mindanao, yung pong mga killings na nangyayari sa mga eskwelahan, nangyari po sa Ateneo basketball team, people are looking for a father, di ba? And sometimes you didn't ask to be the father, pero kung ikaw ay barangay captain, kung ikaw ay mayor, governor, ikaw ay presidente, ikaw ay head ng COA, ikaw ay head ng AFP, ikaw ay head ng PNP, people need a father. So sa ating pagdadasal at pagse-celebrate ng Father Day, let's also pray for the other fathers sa ating bansa. Kasi kapag naramdaman talaga ang pagmamahal ng isang tatay, mararamdaman mo yung yung protection, yung comfort, at saka kahit may uncertainties, alam mong may panghahawakan ka, di ba? So let me stop there and hope, di ba, na despite lahat tong division sa ating bansa, man-navigate po natin yung Blue Ribbon Committee, yung impeachment, and then itong mga sunod-sunod na violent crimes na nangyayari sa ating bansa. Don't forget about our economy, ang pangangailangan ng ating mga magsasaka. Planting season ngayon medyo okay, but because of the Israel-US war, yung kakulangan ng fertilizer, additional problem. Even before the fertilizer may shortage at nagmahal, problematic na ang ating buong agriculture sector. No? And every administration has promised they'll do more. I honor the secretaries of agriculture. Many of them have done a lot, pero napakarami pang pangangailangan ng ating bansa. And I fear that storm season is coming. Kita nyo po, konting ulan, baha, kaliwat kanan, di ba? I mean, again, kung anong itatanim yan, ang aanihin. Nung pumutok yung flood control scam, yun na ang nabanggit na natin po yan, di ba? Na pagka hindi mo tinuloy yung ibang flood control projects, yung linis-linis lang, tapos massive urbanization, tuloy-tuloy yung pollution, climate change. So, yung dadating na baha, dadating na super El Nino, dadating na economic, sunod-sunod na problema. So, let's pray, no? For father of a nation, father ng schools, father ng mga bawat bayan at syudad, di ba? So, kailangan po natin yan. So, thank you for the time you spend with me dito. And thank you sa mga kapatid natin sa media. God bless you po.